1.20.0 is an upcoming major update to Minecraft Bedrock Edition set to release sometime in 2023. The update was announced at Minecraft Live 2022 on October the 15th. Currently, Mojang has not given any known name to it. Therefore, the title is 1.20, the unnamed update. This is highly unusual. The last update to be announced without a name was the Buzzy Bees update, but this went through just 4 months of development before being released and having a name by then, and it certainly didn't go through nearly a year of public-facing development and snapshots and feature reveals. And so what is the deal with 1.20 not having a name? As it turns out, this entire video is very easy to skip because the official reason is to allow creative freedom and to come up with the name later so that people don't constantly try to tie features into whatever the theme actually is. There is a real theme and it's just well hidden. However, taking a look at the update will make this seem incredibly confusing, because if we start with the desert, you can see we've got a camel, we've got the brand new archaeology mechanic with its buffs to desert wells and desert temples, and it kind of makes sense that, like, oh yeah, this is a kind of deserty update. Except then you take a look at the sniffer, which is definitely not just a walking block of Nilium, it's definitely something else altogether, and you realize, oh okay, so there's like 2 separate parts of this update, 2 very big mobs. But then you look at the hanging signs from all the types of woods and you see, whoa, okay, that's something else altogether. Plus there's obviously the brand new chisel bookshelves, which are fun and allow you to do all sorts of new things. Then we've got the 2 brand new wood types, which are from the bamboo, the jungle if you will, as well as from the cherry grove biome, a brand new biome which is unrelated to the desert or the jungle, because a cherry grove is kind of like a mountain biome. By the way, here is the cherry blossom biome we have at home. As you can see, it looks exactly like a normal one if you are maybe being a little bit judgmental, and all you look at a biome for is the leaves and the wood, but still you can see, like, okay, that's something, right? And then you go and you look at the armor trims and you're like, yeah, this is all from all over the world. There is a lot of different themes coming together in this update. In previous updates, it would focus on a biome and then have a few things outside of that, but this update has no particular major area of focus. I mean, the desert temple with its brand new loot structure, the desert temple, the desert well with its brand new suspicious stand, the brand new sniffer, and the new wood types which are unrelated, as well as a new biome which is beautiful but seemingly doesn't tie into the rest of this. It's just a bunch of separate features which don't tie in together in any real way. This is effectively 1.20, the random stuff update. And, that is me being a little bit harsh. If you really try, you can see a way that all of this does tie in, right? I mean, they did say one of the major goals for this update was personalization. Being able to put your own books in bookshelves, that's personalization. Being able to get brand new hanging signs, which, as you can see, they're useful in like 3 separate ways. They can go like this or like this or like that, and they have like very different looks and appearances, and you can put different text on them, which is beautiful. You can make jokes about biomes, or there's all sorts of brand new options for customization. Having new boats and new wood types is customization. If you really make a stretch, you could argue new flowers and suspicious sand allow you to customize things more. But even that definition, which by the way falls flat when you look at archaeology or the sniffer, is actually the loosest and broadest definition you can imagine. I mean, think about it. Every single Minecraft update is all about personalization. The brand new Nether brought with it new blocks which you could use to personalize your world. The brand new villager trading mechanic from 1.14 allowed you to customize your villages in ways that you never could before. Let's not even mention the new campfire blocks and everything else that came along. Every single Minecraft update can be categorized as a customization and personalization update, and so saying that tells you nothing more about it, in the same way that we wouldn't be surprised to learn that yes, this is an update coming out for Minecraft Java and Minecraft Bedrock. Whoa, 2 games of the same name? This isn't new information. This is something we probably should have all been expecting all along. And so really, the fun comes in what do you think the update should actually be called? I mean, we could have the Explore and Decor update, if you just ignore the terrible rhyming. We could have the Discover and Find Cover, because of the Cherry Grove biome, or Customize and Disguise, Trim and Prim, or Merry and Cherry. Although at that point we're really stretching things. I think that honestly, although there is some internal name for this update, based on the fact that most internal names for things are pretty loose and rough, and based on the fact that even Mojang aren't necessarily sure where archaeology ends up as a feature, or where the Cherry Grove is intended to be niche-wise, or even when this update is coming out, there are lots and lots of big questions, and I think that honestly, trying to come up with the end update name is one that is very hard, but I think the simpler way to categorize the this update in the meantime is the update where Mojang finally gets their mojo back. Honestly, this is something you can spot from the community reaction to 1.20. 1.19 seemed to disappoint a lot of people, and although 1.17 and 1.18 together probably made a great update, the split between the two of them made the whole thing very incomprehensible, plus the controversies of adding the deep state below people's existing worlds. It led to a lot of controversy over the last 3 updates combined, and honestly, there was a giant global pandemic. Have you guys heard about that, by the way? It's kind of fun that everyone is just kind of missing 2 years of their life. I think we'll be able to categorize so many parts of the world based on which 2 years of your life went missing. I think for some people you might be lucky and just spent a lot more time at home and maybe working from home, but if you were younger, you missed out on some formative years for socialization, and there's going to be a whole bunch of fun ramifications for that over the world as a whole, but this video doesn't focus on the world as a whole. Instead, it's focusing on Minecraft and how the developers for the game honestly not only had to go through all of their own personal things about, wow, isn't it crazy that I can't do the things that I expected to do and that 2 years of my life went missing, but also it means that all sorts of things that usually would be done over the office conversations can't be done anymore. You know, people from different departments who previously could be like, oh yeah, I'm thinking of adding a mob that does this, and then the art guy could go, wow, that'd be really tricky unless he did this as well. Those conversations can't happen naturally over lunch or something like that anymore, and so all sorts of processes had to change, not just the ones that would change anyway. I mean, if you look at Jappa, who's the art director for Minecraft now, there is someone who is just in charge of art for the game who previously wasn't there, who is making different decisions, but also the team has to integrate in an entirely different way, and this is leading to all sorts of different content decisions. A lot of these can be quite good, but a lot of these are controversial for the community. Do you think, was there a controversial Minecraft update that came out for Java a while ago? I don't think there was. I feel like we would have heard about it if there was somewhere, but you know, we didn't hear about any controversial updates. So they're doing real good in terms of the update release process, and so maybe if you take the totality of the last few updates, really 1.20 is about getting back on track, and honestly, when you look at the community reaction, you can see that that's true. I've said this point before, and even though 1.20 is the random stuff combined update, every single one of the ways they've announced features has resulted in a lot of praise. Maybe not the initial Minecraft Live presentation, although the only criticism people had was it wasn't enough content, but every feature we've seen that's been fresh since then has been accompanied by a wave of excitement. Even though you look at all of these features together in this handy little screenshot here, and you can see that, like, oh gosh, none of it makes any sense together, ultimately that isn't the important part of this update, is it? Would you rather have a really well-named update that comes out in 2 parts and has serious performance issues and honestly results in a lot of controversy around everything about it, or would you rather have an update that doesn't fit neatly into a box regarding a name, but is a much better one? That is, I think, the question which Mojang has correctly identified as, well, yeah, obviously people want the second thing, and so even though there isn't necessarily a defined and fixed update name yet, I think this is a clever way for them to work on an update that they know people will like, and to announce that update in ways people will like, and then to work on the rest of that later. And if I would take a step further in this speculation, I would even go as far as to say that actually not announcing the update name yet is a much better received way of doing things. And even though that seems a bit weird, as a hardcore fan, you're like, well, I just like knowing everything that's happening. The truth is, there are really 3 sets of Minecraft players. There are the most hardcore players who are following every little change within an update. You know, that is honestly what we mostly cater to on this channel. Every single time there's a new feature in a snapshot, I am excited and I want to see exactly what they're doing before the next update comes out. I may not be downloading the update in my survival world, but I am very aware of exactly what I'm going to be needing to do when 1.20 comes out to truly take advantage of it. In fact, that's a thing that I've been mentally working on, like, what do you need to do to prepare for this update? But that is the most hardcore set of players, right? You could argue even more hardcore are the people deep in the change logs and the discords, but you know, that is the first set, and we mostly refer to any update as 1 point and then whatever it is. We refer to 1.19 as 1.19 rather than the wild update. Then there is the second set of players who are no doubt playing Minecraft some decent amount of the time, but they're not focused on updates until they come out. I mean, why would you care about an update that's not going to release for 9 months? What's the point in following that? I really liked playing Breath of the Wild as an example. I know that the next 3D Legend of Zelda game I'm gonna buy and play when it comes out anyway, so why look into all these details and taunt myself before it comes out? This is how most people feel about most things, so there's a huge set of Minecraft players who might know there's an update being worked on at any given point in time, but don't really care about it until that announcement trailer comes out, or even until the game is properly available. And then there is the third set of players players who maybe don't even know about the update till a few days after, where they get recommended that YouTube trailer and they're like, oh, I should get back into Minecraft, or maybe get into it for the first time. Somehow, it's crazy to me that this is true. There are sets of Minecraft players who have never heard about something, and so even though all three groups of these players are going to play with the exact same set of features in the exact same update, the first group are calling this 1.20, the second group are calling this the bleep and bleep update, and the third group of players are calling this, oh cool, Minecraft got an update. I hear it has some pink trees in it. Oh, do you want to play this with me, buddy? And honestly, when you think about it, those last two groups of players are probably the majority of human beings in the world, especially of people who play video games, and so ultimately, you don't need to worry about them just yet because they don't have the hype for this update. When you want to announce this update in some major way that is intended for a mass audience, then you would need to have a lockdown title for it, so you could promote the bamboo and camel poo update, so you could have the sniffer and kisser update. You would need to then be 100% sure of exactly how you're selling this to people and the theme you're trying to convey, but in the meantime, it's perfectly fine not to, and that is, I think, the reason why 1.20 is unnamed. If you think about the big list of priorities that every single Minecraft update needs to have, the name is something that's important to do, but I think most people would much rather have a disorganized set of features that really don't fit together in any meaningful way, than to have a set of features which do make perfect sense together and fit under a nice umbrella, but that ultimately don't excite. And if you look at the Wild update, which was the last major update to really do this, Wild was already such a loose description for an update. I mean, everything's wild, right? Whether you mean wild like it's crazy or wild like it exists naturally, and yet still, what the update title did to people is it made them expect more and expect wilder things than they were seeing already. So by not giving an update title, they're kind of keeping expectations down. To use a phrase that we like to use a lot on stream, keep your expectations tiny and you won't be whiny, and I think that is what Mojang is attempting to do with the Minecraft community here, and honestly, it's something I'd love to see them work out. So what is the real reason that Mojang doesn't have a title for 1.20 yet? The answer is they probably do, but they don't want to share it for expectations reasons, or they have no clue whatsoever, but they don't really need to have one just yet, and honestly, this might be the way forward with future updates. Although it was incredible to have the update titles for the Village and Pillage or Caves and Cliffs or Buzzy Bees update, ultimately, these weren't essential parts of the process, they're just ones that we assume we should have by now. It could be a really fun part of the reveal for the trailer if they give us the name at the same time, and ultimately could help the hype of Minecraft, which is the big reason they do these updates to begin with. Minecraft is not a charity giving us free updates endlessly for no good reason. They are ultimately trying to drive sales, hype, and all of the other wonderful things that make a game company run, and so if this is the best way for them to do that, then honestly, power to them, and I'm excited for 1.20, the unnamed update. And sometimes, maybe the lesson to learn here is that you don't need to name everything, you don't need to announce everything you're doing to the world, because that can set the world of expectations on you. Sometimes it's better to finish something and then tell people about it. I think you'll have a much higher success rate with the project you're doing if you do it this way, because subconsciously I think you feel like you've already gotten all of the reward from telling people about your amazing thing, and so now what is the point of them learning about it later? I think that is a real possibility, and I also think it's possible that maybe we're just not all built to finish every idea we do, and you don't want to look like someone who quits midway through, and so that is why I'm going to say thank you for watching this video, which has now come to its end. I didn't announce this anywhere before it came out, and I hope that you appreciated that. Subscribe if you want to see more Minecraft update news. I am very excited to see the last parts of this update, and indeed that big update title reveal. What's it gonna be? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below, and then in a couple of months when they finally reveal it, I'd love to see which of you is a psychic and or just very good at guessing. Anyway, please do subscribe, perhaps some notifications turned on. I would really appreciate it, because I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.